just don't see it any other way. I'm too weak to make the climb. I need a miracle this time. That's when.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio in the town of Geraldine, Alabama. Thank you so much for listening to us every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Just got a email from Diamond and Silk, and they are going to be on the show with us on Friday, July the 8th. So we're really excited about having them on the show with us. Don't know how much time we're going to get from them. It's going to be utilizing the Facebook Live and also utilizing Zoom. So we're really excited about talking with them. Anyway, we can get them. You know, they always say, Donna, we're busy, we're traveling a lot, we're doing this, we're doing that. And they're usually say something like, Phil's letting me know that my sound is good. So, y'all always let me know if something's not exactly right. You can send a text to me, like live, 256-659-4319. But anyway, we're going to have Diamond and Silk with us. We're all excited about that. I also have some more information for you. You like saving money? You like quality products? You like really good stuff? You like to be able to rest? We talked a little bit earlier on the show today about getting the right kind of rest. You can with MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com and use the code word Donna, and let me explain to you what you're going to get. The slippers, and I've told you we've got the moccasins. Now you can get either slippers or the moccasins. It's up to you. The moccasins are really neat because you can wear them to town if you want to. You can wear them to church if you wanted to. I mean, they're dressy up enough, and so, but they can also be worn as house shoes. That's what's really cool about these shoes. $90 is what you're going to save. If you use the code Donna, D-O-N-N-A, you'll get these slippers for only $49.98. I'm not talking about each shoe. I'm talking about for a pair of shoes. So that's a good deal. You're saving $90. Go ahead and take advantage of that. Also, the MyPillow bathrobes, save 30% on those. I don't have one of those yet, but I'm going to get one. Also, the 6-piece MyPillow towel set. Now, you get 2 of the big towels or big fluffy towels, and they're very absorbing as well. Have you ever bought towels before where you're out of the shower and you're trying to dry off and they don't even absorb the moisture? These are great absorbing towels. So you get 2 big ones. You get also 2 of the hand towels and 2 of the bath cloths. And I wanted to mention to you, they have those in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors. And they're all the popular colors. And I've got some in these really pretty, almost like an aqua looking color, and they're beautiful. They match my new bathroom. And then you get a royal looking blue color, and they have 2 different colors of gray. They've got a lighter gray, and then they have a darker gray. And then there's this burgundy, real pretty burgundy color. You get white. And then they also have this really pretty green color. I love green. The only thing is I can't wear green because I got a green screen behind me. So that's history. We've talked about that before. But anyway, they're buy one, get one free. So that's a good deal. You're going to get 2 sets of towels. You're going to get 12 towels for $89.98. You got to use my name now, Donna, D-O-N-N-A. Let me go ahead and get back because there's something else I wanted to tell you about too with MyPillow. The MyPillows are also buy one, get one free. And these pillows are awesome. I mean, we've been using these pillows for years. And I've told you guys too about you just throw it in the washing machine and then throw it in the dryer. And it's just like it's brand new towel. And because before, when I've had pillows, I didn't want to put them in the washing machine. And what I would do is put them outside on top of the car, hope a bird didn't, on top of it, or on the deck or something, because sun can also clean, the sunshine outside. But you had that risk, okay, of a bird flying over. But this way, you just throw them in the washer, throw them in the dryer, and I'm done. They also have the MyPillow topper. I've got that MyPillow topper. And, you're safe. Oh, they're going to throw in some sheets in there. Okay, that pillow is the pillow and the topper that goes on top of your bed. That is 3 inches of luxury. I mean, it is really awesome. So anyway, just wanted to mention that to you. And these are super, super good deals right here. They've got this adjustable base. I've not tried that out. You save 30% off on that. It's almost like a hospital bed. I've always loved hospital beds. Like my grandparents just made would be in the hospital. I'd get in the bed with them when I was a little kid. And I liked it because I'd say, move the bed up and down. They'd move the bed up and down. But, well, they have this bed frame that's like that. Let's go ahead and check on it. So that would be neat to have, like if company is coming over. Let me check that out. Because most of our company is from like, out of state or whatever. But you save 30%. And yeah, I mean, it's as cheap as a bed. You can put the topper and all that stuff on it. So with the promo code, it's regular $2,000. With the promo code, you get it for $1,399. And so good deal there. Then you get the twin, full, queen, king, California king. That must be some super big bed. And then the split king. Probably they'd get the California king bed for Phil, because my husband Phil is like really tall. I think his brothers and people used to call him long distance back in the day. Okay, we're waiting. Something must have happened. Okay, here we go. All right, Phillip is coming in right now, so I'm really excited. I bet you're afraid I'm going to tell you another one of those stories. You're being rescued right now. Here's Phillip Gilliland.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I was almost late.
Yeah, well, you made it just in plenty of time. We were talking about my Phil. They're running some really good specials right now.
Yeah, good.
Those shoes that you've probably seen Phil wear, I don't think he's got them on now, but there's some slippers and there's like $80 off.
Oh, yeah.
For these. You got to use the promo code Donna, D-O-N-N-A, to be able to get those at that good price. Phillip Gilliland is one of my best friends. And I tell him, he knows the guts on me. I'm telling you, it's scary. But I tell him
it cuts both ways.
Absolutely. But Phillip, and I was mentioning this earlier on the show, and so you're the second person I told that I wanted to start my own radio station. And I remember I'll never forget it. We were in Scottsboro at the Cattle Stampede Steakhouse.
I remember.
And so you said, we're going to pray right now. Yeah, and we did.
That's right.
Absolutely. So how you been doing?
Oh, good. Just busy.
There's some water for you there.
Oh, great. No, I got a little behind this morning, and we had a lot of stuff going on. I spent too much time on the bush hog. I was supposed to have been at the church because they were hooking the internet up in the new building. So I was late getting there. I lost myself, and I'm out on the bush hog, and it was cool this morning.
I know, wasn't it awesome? Because we were working
nice.
out, and I was afraid I was going to be late. And I was like, but I wanted to stay out one more minute, just one more minute. Well, and it was perfect time today.
So, I do all the rough stuff, and I leave the big open spot for the boys. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, and I was just having the best time, and I was just taking therapy right there, and I looked at my watch and I said, oh my goodness. So then I take off to the church, and then that took a little bit longer. So yada, 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 I'm here.
He made it plenty of time. He's here. Yeah. We were just talking about that in the first hour about rest. Even though some people get 8 hours of sleep, they're not really rested.
That's true.
So we were talking about that. One way to get really rested up is to do things you like to do outside.
Yes.
That will do it.
Oh, it's the best therapy. It's like I said, that's what I was doing, taking therapy.
I've needed a lot of therapy, can you tell, with all the plants?
Well, I saw the tomatoes that are.
My goodness.
Yeah, they look pretty good to me.
Yeah, don't they? I'm going to have concrete blocks for garden from this point on.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that? You got to look at one of the videos from yesterday. I planted marigold seeds. My friend Deja Lee gave me a bunch of seeds. And one seed it's just huge. I've got roots that are this tall just from being, I've never had roots on marigolds. And all the plants, everything is just growing rapid.
Good. Yeah, we've had some good weather. Did y'all get rain yesterday? We didn't either.
We've had to do our own rain.
Well, I see the pepper plant. Is that banana pepper?
No, it looks like it, but that's actually my favorite flower, and that's the tiger lily.
Oh yeah, that's just about to bloom.
But it doesn't, because I looked up earlier and I thought, I don't remember planting peppers there. It's what it looks like right outside the window.
It does. But
in the Studio A.
We could use some heavenly rain right now.
Nice. It's better than
we need some.
Yes,
it is. It just works better. Somebody told me that the chlorine really wasn't good for the plants, but it's better than them
It's
not
better.
having water. So
Well, that's why you're seeing these. I've got like, it looks like a junkyard around here because I've got big pots and stuff all over the place and I catch rainwater when it rains.
yeah,
And that's how I'd rather feed my plants.
sure, because it doesn't have any chlorine.
Nothing in it. But the bees love chlorine.
Oh, they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're all in it. You're going to rob bees with me?
Oh, it's been a while, but I don't think I've forgotten how.
I'm going to do a video on that. We're going to do this on Saturday. You may see me yelling in the video,
Yeah.
I know, but probably not. These things are just like a Disney cartoon. They just follow you around the yard and
Oh yeah,
it's freaking mother out.
yeah.
Yeah, mother said, you don't need to be around those bees like that.
She's afraid they'll turn on you.
And I said, well, they're okay now, but when I take their food away from them, they may not like me.
That's
no
right.
more.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, I'd be the same way. You take my food away from me, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get mad too.
Well, you've got to smoke them, to
Uh-huh.
put them in that semi-dormant state, and
They'll be in somewhat of a trance.
yes, and it works. It works
Mhm.
on. I still have it. I have my dad's in my office. It's been there. As long as I've lived there. I moved it when I moved from Albertville to Grant, and it sits up on the shelf. And
Mhm.
because sometimes you think, well, boy, this is hard work, but I think about some of those days. Like I said, we had 30. It was either 31 or 32 hives, and when we robbed the bees, it was a day's work,
Mhm.
man.
Well, I'm ambitious. I'm gonna build up to 10 of them by next year.
Oh yeah, and it's good for you. It's healthy, and
It's the best honey you can get.
oh, it is. It is. It is.
I'm gonna tell you, you had dedication at your church,
Yes,
and that was an awesome service.
it was. It was really nice. It was. We had a lot of friends showed up, and it was great. I enjoyed it, and it was special. It was real special.
Yeah, it was the singing. I mean, just everything was just really good. You have some testimonials.
Yes, I know it. It's a good time in our church. Although all our kids are at camp right now, they will be back on Thursday. So the second group left on Sunday morning really early. I carried my boys. My wife's been gone a week and a day. She's been gone. She left
Counting the seconds.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm about to starve to death for something good to eat. My cooking it's not any
It's not
good.
like Elizabeth.
No, it's terrible. So, but they're having the time of their life, and they'll come back, and we'll be starting this Sunday doing one service through the month of July to see how that works, and then we'll make a decision afterward whether we're going to continue to do one service or two, because this is the first time in a long time that we've had space to have everybody in one building. So
Well, there was
it
a crowd there during the dedication.
oh, it was 200. I've had 2 or 3 people tell me they were 210 or 211, somewhere in that range of people there. And it was great because we did have a good time, and it was a blessing. I appreciate you coming, you and Phil coming. It was great.
No, we were going to be there.
We love our Cowboy churches, and our Cowboy church family is pretty broad reaching. And we'll have a thing for them on the last weekend of the month. We have our Renew conference at No Fences Cowboy Church over near Falkville, Alabama. And on Friday night, we'll have all the pastors and wives. And then on Saturday, we'll have all the church leadership come in and join us on that Saturday. So we're pretty excited about that. That's it's a big thing for us. And they have a beautiful church over there. They built it several years ago, but it is really a nice church, and it has room that we can put everybody in there. So we're looking forward to that. We have a lot of things going on as always, and it's a good time for our churches. They're all going to get a bunch of young people back this Sunday that's going to be really revived up. And
I've been seeing some videos.
Oh,
they're I'm gonna tell you what, they're just really
it's one of our greatest outreaches, and one of the biggest expenditures we have is what we do for our camps. Now those camps take place in Texas and Oklahoma and Alabama, And we have some people that really put a lot of work into it, and it's unbelievable what they accomplish. And we've had several salvations already, and maybe more. I'm going down tomorrow afternoon. But tomorrow afternoon is the last night. They'll have the worship tomorrow afternoon. Then they'll have the kids rodeo, the ones that make the finals. They'll have that tomorrow night. So I haven't heard if mine's in it or not, but they might be. And it doesn't matter. They're all my kids. You know, all our church kids. And we are so blessed to have a lot of kids. And
you are, because a lot of churches don't. I mean,
yes,
you got like little kids, teenagers. I mean, and they're all so happy to be there.
Oh yeah, they are, and they give me a go, boy. I mean, they're inspiring to me to see what they do. And of course, that youngest one of mine goes with me a lot of places, and he and I made a trip last week, and I guess I'll make a trip without him. I've got to be somewhere else this Sunday, but it's going to be unusual him not being with me, because he wants to go to our church. You would think, well, he goes with you everywhere. He'll sure go with you. No, he wants to be in our church on Sunday, and that's a good thing.
You're going to be in our church. We go to the Lookout Mountain Church.
Yeah, and
that is so beautiful out in there. And, I told Phil the first time we drove up, it was just beautiful. And I love open pasture land, horses and cows and all that stuff. And I told Phil, I said, you know, it's going to be tough on me to like listen to the preacher. I'm going to be looking outside. Yeah. But he keeps your attention. I'm gonna tell you, you won't be looking.
He's a good preacher.
He's going to be on the show on Thursday.
Oh, good. But I think he's been down there. I'm not sure how much. He may have been there all this week. I hadn't talked to him, but he's him and Miss Judy are awesome people.
I just love Judy.
Oh, they're some of the best. Mm-hmm. But we're having a great summer and a great run, and trying to help some churches and start some new churches. We've got some good things going on, so we're pretty excited about it. I think I'll be making a trip to Texas next month. Well, not July. I mean, I've got to go in August, so it's not quite July, but it's about to be
here before you.
Yeah, it's about to be July. I'm thinking about the first week of August, but a lot of good things going on, and it's pretty exciting for us to see what the Lord's doing in our churches, and
churches are just popping up all over the place.
Yes, and we're getting calls from a lot of places where people are interested, and it takes a fair amount of work to get, but we have a team that we do everything by teams. So we have a team that put together a layout for a timeline for a new church start, and it talks about what you have to do with your tax situation, your tax ID numbers. It gives you all this information that you, instead of having to call everybody, you can look at this timeline. It kind of gives you, and in our case, you need to talk to our Secretary of State, who can help you with some of that, because and we've had a super good relationship with John, and
he's a good guy. He was on the show last Monday.
Yes, he's our dear friend. I mean, so we'll be working with somebody new next year, but we look forward to it being good as well. He's got somebody set the bar pretty high.
He most certainly did. I'd hate to be the person coming in behind him. Yeah, you got some big shoes to fill.
That's right. So it's a good time. It's a good time for us, and things begin to happen before school goes back. We have a lot of churches doing VBSs, and we have Pee Wee camp coming up at Crossover. That is I think the 12th of July. And for the little ones that's not old enough to go to camp, we do this thing, the Trading Post and Crossover does it together. every year, and we do that for them, and that's my favorite one, I guess, because those little fellas are so much fun, and everybody works really hard to make it special. This is the first year we've done it without Miss Dawn Wheeler. Miss Dawn went home to be with the Lord. She passed away from complications due to COVID. So it's going to be different because she was the lifeblood of Pee Wee Camp. So this year we're gonna go and carry on and try to make it good, not only for her, but most importantly for to honor the Lord and teach these young people some things about the Bible and the most fundamental things that you get when you're in that little age group that's not quite old enough to go to camp.
But they're excited,
Oh,
very excited.
They love it because and the reason why Miss Dawn started doing that was because there were some little ones getting left out. So she took it on herself several years ago to start that. And I think it's awesome that we're going to be carrying that on, and we're going to continue to do something that I think is real important, and that's investing in our young people and our children.
Let's talk about the core of the Cowboy Church, because you're listening. You got thousands of listeners to you right now.
Yeah.
We're on Abundant TV,
Yes.
which is worldwide, and we're also found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. So first day out of the gate, the guy who owns the station said, "Well, guess how many listeners you had?" And I said, "I don't know." And I said, "How many?" He said, "Over 4,000.
Oh my
And
goodness. Good.
I said, "Is that good?" And he said, "That's grand."
Yeah,
He said, "It's
I
very
think
good."
so.
And he tells me it keeps climbing. So you're talking to a lot of folks for the very first time right now. What is the Cowboy Church? How is it different from other churches?
Well, you know, we don't have barriers. We try to do things that we say we're the church for people that don't like churches. We call it a Cowboy Church because at the core of what we are is the Western culture. But there's a lot of people, and you're a perfect example. You know that people, not everybody that comes to Cowboy Church is a cowboy. Not everybody that comes even has a horse or a cow, but people can identify with the simplicity of doing church simple.
Simple.
And I think that's where we get a lot of guys that are deer hunters or bass fishermen, or some of them are not connected.
Space and Rocket Center.
What I started saying, you know, the guy that helped launch his last rocket, the engineer, he leads one of our teams at church, and man, he's really one of the greatest guys I know. And that's Greg Lawson, serves as an elder in our church, and he's really a smart guy. But he loves what we do. He loves that. You know, he's kind of the farm guy. He's a hobby farmer, I guess. And I hope I'm not offending him, but I believe he likes to be called a farmer because he loves that stuff. That is his favorite pastime. What my back doctor, who is Dr. Roberts over in Huntsville, he has a farm. You know, my orthopedic surgeon guy, he has a cattle farm. And a lot of people, not everybody that is a professional person plays golf. A lot of them like to do things
outside. It's the best therapy.
Yes. So and we attract some of those people, and thank the Lord for them. They help us with some things that
Mike Parsons is one of them.
He is.
And now he was in the military, you know, and he's had so many different careers. And so also he's a school teacher. He's just done all kinds of things, and he just turned on. I mean, he just, he loved it.
Oh, he is. And he is the guy that we ask about our church security things from, because he is so knowledgeable about it. He is part of a big church and he leads that group in church security. And who would have ever thought when we were kids we'd be having to be concerned about it. But today it's the day and age we live in, and so it is. It's what we do today. So he is one of the best examples of a guy that will help you. You know, it doesn't matter if you it could be any church anywhere. If you call Mike Parsons and ask him, "Can you help me he will help
He's
you.
tickled to do it.
Yes, he is glad to do it.
That's his forte. I mean,
Yes.
he really knows his stuff. And that's the person you want to ask advice from. Now, you guys have a different way also. People can tithe still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's not, because there was a time I was divorced and I may have put in a couple of quarters and I didn't want it to sound like really loud hitting the bottom of that plate, but it's a very discreet way you can do so.
We have a little barn in the back of the church. We don't pass an offering plate because we realize there might be somebody there that might feel out of place because they didn't have something to put in it.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, we put a little barn in the back, and if you can put something in it, and I never know who puts what in it. Nobody ever looks to see who's putting money in it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an outside person at the end of the year that keeps up with who gave what, and it doesn't even go through the church. They mail that, their receipt back for tax purposes directly to the individual.
I like that.
And so that way, what anybody gives is between them and this person that's not part of our church. In fact, this lady who is really great and it doesn't cost much, she does that for 6 or 7 churches. And that's what she does. So it's a blessing to take the barriers away that keep people from coming to church. You might not think that would be a barrier, but if you are the person that doesn't have anything to put in, it could be a barrier.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the things we do. And we do things by teams, and we don't vote on hardly anything. We voted, of course, when we decided to build the building because that was a major expenditure, but just normal things we do by consensus rather than vote, because the more you vote, the more you have an opportunity to divide. So the people that started this organization years ago, who came from a background in traditional church and had a lot of experience, they said, we need to do something about that. And so that we do things by consensus. And
I've seen people get into fights before based on carpet color. Who cares?
Yes.
And every church I've ever been to, they'll say, Donna, what do you want? And I go, I'm cool with anything. I don't care. I mean, pink polka dot's fine with me. Whatever. We're going to have to go into a commercial break, Phillip. Y'all hang in there. It's already bottom of the hour.
Well, and I wasn't that late.
No, you weren't. You weren't. So let's go ahead and cut into a break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. I sure do appreciate you guys listening to us. Absolutely, I do. We'll be right back.
I said, God, you gotta move this mountain. I just don't see it any other way. I'm too weak to make the climb. I need a miracle this time. That's when I heard the about me. Face your fears, shout my name, proclaim the victory. Don't tell me about that mountain, tell that mountain about me. Face your fears, shout my name, proclaim the victory. You've said your prayers, now take a stand, get up off your knees. You've told me about that mountain. Now tell that mountain about me. Don't tell me about that mountain.
Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio in the town of Geraldine, Alabama. Big town.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of folks have been saying, where in the world is Geraldine, Alabama? Well, there was a music group here and the Spiral Staircase. And so they sang a song, I Love You More Today Than Yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. So that's our claim to fame.
That was Upton.
Pat Upton.
Yeah, Pat Upton.
So he's from here, right here in Geraldine. Most people know us from the Alabama Crimson Tide, the players that are from this area.
Yeah.
So as a matter of fact, we know people in California are listening to us. AP Stedham, our sports guy, was on the show with us 2 weeks ago, and someone did send me a text and said, tell Saban to stay out of California and quit getting our players.
Yeah.
So, and then a Texan sent a text and he said, yeah, and don't mess with Texas either.
Yeah. Well,
that sounds like Texas.
Too late.
Too late. We're in there. We're in
Yeah.
it. But thank you again for watching. We definitely appreciate it.
And the highway that goes through here is named after Miss Vestal Goodman.
Yes.
So this is part of the world where she grew up at.
Well, you know, Bill Gaither was on the show with me one time, and it wasn't icy. It's just that we didn't know each other. So we were just trying to warm up to get to know each other a little bit, you know, and it was very cordial, very nice, and all that kind of stuff. I said, by the way, you're in Vestal Goodman country. Boy, he really lived up when I said that. He loved her.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved
who wouldn't love her? She was precious.
Well, he started talking about her coconut cakes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
He said she didn't tell anybody how she made them either, but he said she was known for those coconut cakes. And he said every event and every time I knew I was going to see Vestal, she would make me a coconut cake.
Yeah. My sister can make them. She learned it from my mother. And mother made those that are to die, because she would drain the coconut out.
That's how I did it.
And save it, and then she'd grate all the coconut, fresh coconut, and make the cake. And then when she finished, she would pour the juice back on top of it. Ooh, you get called to preach eating that kind of stuff.
I think he's gonna I'm gonna make you a coconut cake. And what you do is I'll get like the bottom of a wooden spoon. Yeah. And then I'll just kind of make little holes all in it, you know, and then pour this. It's like a sauce. It's got all kinds of good stuff that's not good for you. It's got all this stuff on it. You pour that, and then you put the icing on top.
Yeah.
And Phil, for his birthday, I'll say, what do you want, honey, for your birthday? And he'll go, one of those coconut cakes.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't blame you.
So anyway, this is Phillip Gilliland. He's with American Fellowship of Cowboy Churches, and one of my best friends. I have this guy. I mean, for everything we do, we always talk to you, and also Don Hunt.
Yes,
as well, and his awesome wife as well. But you've been there for everything that we have. And I know you had to be rushed around like crazy on the day of the music.
It was always good. It was always fun. I mean, it's a blessing to get to be part of the things that we've been able to do and be where you're at, like the music in the park in Geraldine. That's a delight, and sometimes we have other things that overlap.
I think you had like 5 things.
I did. I had been to 2 rodeos that day and had a pastor and his wife in town from South Alabama, and I'd promised to have dinner with them. So we went to 2 rodeos, went back because I'd left Jacob at one of them, and I went back there, and then made the dinner meeting with my friends from South Alabama. So it's just what I do, and I don't have any complaints about it. I'm just thankful the Lord gives me strength to do it. Because
I don't know, if something you have a passion for, somehow you find the strength. It just comes from the
and that's the thing, you know. and people probably never think about this, but it's like yesterday, I had a funeral for a guy that I barely knew, but his family, I know a lot of his family, and I got to meet his daughter, and she had three they're young men. I mean, they're like 20-ish, and and they live in Texas, just down the road from where our Cowboy Church headquarters is. So, you know, they had been to the Cowboy Church of Ellis County, and but doing that funeral, I realized what an incredible group of young men they were there. They were all really precious, but we do some things that most people don't think about, and I surely always said, you know, this world gets smaller once you get to know people, but it was a blessing to get to do that. And he had passed away under hospice care, which is another group of our friends.
Shepherd's Cove.
That's right. And so anyway, there's a lot of things that go on that a lot of people may never know about what a pastor does, but
I lived inside that world.
yes,
I really did growing up. And I mean, you don't know. I mean, you know, it's like you're almost it's almost like you're a doctor. You're on call 24/7.
yes,
You know, you never know
Yeah.
what's good. When I was a teenager, there was a guy that went to his church that Dad pastored, and he got into trouble. His girlfriend thought she was pregnant, and she actually wasn't. But anyway, it scared him to death. And this is back before anybody knew what pregnancy was and getting an abortion was. We thought it was just, just a mass, no big deal.
and at that day and age, it was a big deal.
Oh Lord, yes, yeah. People moved out of town. I mean, they would do that if
Yes.
stuff happened to their daughter. And some parents would disown their kids and stuff like that. I never thought I would do that, but if that ever happened in our family. But anyway, he actually robbed a store because he was trying to get money for getting an abortion. And one lucky thing about it is the gun had no ammunition in it. The gun had nothing in it, just to scare the clerk. But long story short, of course, they called Dad. Dad had to go to the jail and all this kind of stuff. So you get called on for all kinds of stuff. I mean,
people would never, and I've been in court with people multiple times, and I mean, it's sometimes you just don't know what the day holds, but you know who holds the day.
Yeah. Because I mean, really, you can get calls from. Oh, and then also, if you don't go to the hospital to see someone's Aunt Susie cousin that you've never met ever, I mean, you can get in trouble.
Oh yeah,
For that.
yeah.
I don't see that happening though at the Cowboy Church.
We don't have. We're not a cliquish group.
That's another thing I like about it is that I don't see anybody, like you sat on my bench. I mean, I don't see anybody acting like that.
No, it's I was telling one of my friends at lunch a little bit ago, who's been through a hard time, and I told him, I said, you come to Cowboy Church. What you need to do is come. And he goes to church, but he's pastored. He's been a preacher, and a good one. But he's had a really struggle since he lost a child. So, and he said, well, I'm going to come. I said, well, the one thing I can promise you is you'll feel the love of God's people stronger there than you will at any other kind. And it doesn't matter if it's Trading Post or Lookout Mountain or Crossover or any one of the churches. I really believe that, because people tell me that all the time. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've had a young couple with beautiful young kids, and they drive from the Tennessee line. If they live in Tennessee, drive all the way to the Trading Post and come to church.
That speaks volumes.
And people tell me, the thing about coming here is we sense God's love here. And I can tell you, people everywhere need to feel that. There's nobody that doesn't need to feel a sense of God's love. Everybody deserves to feel that way. And if we're not portraying that, and not like we should have to. It should be a natural response. Then we're missing the boat. I mean, we're not where we should be if
I feel exactly the same way, because you never know, because somebody can put on a facade. I mean, they can act like they got it all together, you know, and oh, you know, I got a perfect life and all this, and they're just breaking inside.
Yes, and those are the ones that just need somebody to show them a little love and some care and a few kind words, and you know, I think that's what Cowboy Church does. It is a real good representation of God's love, and from that we share the gospel. And yeah, we do some things a little differently, and we do arena stuff, but we never do anything that we don't share the gospel. I mean, when we get together for just to play in the arena, one of the lay pastors will stop, and we'll have about a 5 or 10 minute sermon that he's prepared for that night. So I like that. I like the fact that we're teaching kids and young people the value of having a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Well, there's a variety of different ages there as well. That's something else. And every single church I've been to, you've got your older folks like me, and then you've got your younger folks, and you got these little kids, and you even have teenagers. I mean, and that's a feat right there, because now back in my day, we'd be here with my grandparents. They'd say, now get up, now we're going to church. There was none of this, I don't want to go. And I mean, we had to go, but you know, a lot of folks let their kids make the decision about that.
And I've had, I have kids that may have, you know, divided custody between their parents or time. It may not be this one's weekend, but they will tell their parents, look, I want to be home in time to go to church, whichever one it is. I want to be home in time to go to church. And
I appreciate parents who let the kid do that. I really do. And, you know, take yourself out of the equation. You know, it's not the kid's fault.
That's right. So I love it when I hear them say that. They'll tell me, so, well, I'm going to be at my mom's, but she told me I could come home in time to go to church. I love to hear that kid tell me that, and because at least that's showing some unselfishness on the parents' part, and it shows that the kid has some dedication to his church family. The Bible tells us, you know, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. So he's just being biblical, whether he's 14 or 18. He has accepted a biblical role of an adult when he says, oh, I'm going to be home in time to go to church. That's a good thing. I think it's awesome.
It might lead the parents.
That's right.
I mean, that can definitely.
Oh, and it's happened numerous times when we've done things for kids and we never saw their parents. One of our churches, this really neat kid who really had never been around horses or anything, and somebody gave him a little horse. Well, we do these kid rodeos and everything, and he started riding this little horse and feeding it and brushing. Well, he's got to be competitive, and I mean, he had really done every bit of this on his own. And but the cool part of it is the first time his dad came to watch him, his dad I could tell he had never been as proud of his kid as he was that kid that day. And I'll tell you, that's been probably 3 months ago, and his dad, to my knowledge, hadn't missed a Sunday in church since then. Wow. And he had not been to church a Sunday before that, but he's been there every Sunday since then.
I'll tell you something I always look forward to at church too, and that's when the little kids at the very end. I love that. We were in a really big hurry on Mother's Day. Had to hurry up and get back. I always had a bunch of guests coming over to the house, and so, but Phil said, "Well, we need to go," and I said, "No, I want to hear these kids." Yeah, it's just like a highlight for me to get so. And they run down there. They'll say, "Okay, it's time for the kids." Yeah. And they want to, you don't see anybody restraining, nothing. They go running down there and then they sing Happy Trails. Oh, yeah. Just as loud as they can.
Oh, I love it. I do.
Job. Absolutely, they do. Oh, and I've seen too, because you had talked about baptisms.
Yes.
And horse trough.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen that before. I mean, I would now Coldwater Creek is on top of Cheehaw Mountain. That's where I was baptized. It was cold even in the hot, sultry summertime.
Yeah.
It was cold. But and then baptistries, but I'd never seen horse troughs. I've seen 2 of them.
Good.
It's pretty awesome.
It is. And in the new church, you know, we now can have warm water in the horse trough.
That's nice.
But there's a few times when we did some baptisms and we had heaters in the water, but I thought, oh my goodness, this is brutal. I hated to do it, but you know, we did. But now then, you know, it's one of the things I asked. I said, let's get a hot water heater and put it under that pedestal. And we've got it up where it makes it real easy. I haven't used it yet, but I've got a feeling I'm about to.
You're about
I've got to. When these kids come, I know these kids coming back from camp, I've got a couple, and I can't wait to get to baptize those. And I can't wait to get to use that new one at the trading post because we haven't used it yet. So it's time to break it in.
Yeah, it is. But you got to just go see that. Now, weddings are a little different too.
Yes, and sometimes they may be in the middle of nowhere. That I've done several in a barn. I've done them at the gin out at Pisgah, and I love those settings though. Because it takes me back to my childhood almost. But I really enjoy some of the venues where we do weddings, and sometimes we just go out in the pasture. And when we've done that, we've done those just right out in the pasture, and the bride come riding up on a horse.
That's so awesome.
And those were fun. I enjoyed those, and she had on a wedding gown, but she got up and rode side saddle in a side saddle the old-fashioned way and slid off.
They're hard to do.
Well, she was a lot younger than me for sure, but
so she'd be able to.
Oh, she did. But that was pretty neat. I enjoyed that, and but we get to do some fun things, and it's all a blessing. I love what the Lord lets me do, and seeing and now we've got a whole group of young married people that's coming in.
I was
and
just about to mention that.
Yes,
that's awesome to see too. They just got married and they're going to Cowboy Church.
Yes, we've got a group of those that, and we've got I think 5 different groups of people that are in Bible study groups that they meet, you know, on a weeknight, and boy, they get wrapped up in these things because they talk and they grow really close. These groups do. We call them small group Bible studies, and but it's just amazing how people get connected into that. And but the next thing you know, somebody's going to come out of that group and join one of the teams or become a lay pastor or something. I mean, it's probably the neatest thing. We don't do a Sunday school normally. We do small group Bible studies, and we do children's church in another building. We have a youth group that meets on Wednesday nights, but on Sunday mornings you have the option of sitting in church, or you can go out with the youth and go through a lesson, a Bible study lesson there. So there's a lot of things that goes on in the Cowboy Church model to keep it functioning. But you know, I've never been part of one that just up and closed. I mean, I've never seen one just up and closed. All of ours have kind of either thrived or grown to a certain place, but there's umpteen churches represented down at that camp, and all those kids, man, that's what's good is when they come back and you can tell that, man, something that spiritually happened in their life.
Phil, can you bring me that holster you got for Father's Day? I wanted to mention this too. On occasions, and we weren't even expecting this, I got something really nice for Mother's Day, and look, the kids.
Oh yeah.
The kids made these.
Oh yeah.
And so they were handing them out to all the fathers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cute. Nice. Yeah, I meant to put this here. I knew you were going to be on the show today. It's just a really nice leather case. We only have about 3 or 4 minutes left in this segment. What are your thoughts about Roe versus Wade?
Oh, I think it was awesome.
I didn't expect that to happen.
I didn't expect to
I
ever
didn't think
see
it
that
ever
happen
would.
in my lifetime. But it tells me this: our country has a hope. Our country has a hope of turning back to God, which it needs to do more than anything else. So I was glad to see it. And there may be some people take offense to that. It's not because I'm not going to be out marching in the street and carrying a sign about it, but I can tell you, I believe the angels rejoiced in heaven over that. And there were some judges that heard from heaven to make that decision and make it happen.
I think so too, because several of them had threats on their lives about it. First of all, somebody's going to threaten your life about, I would go the other way of whatever they want, because that's just not right. But think about all the babies. They keep saying it's a woman's body and all this kind of stuff. Well, there's probably a woman in that body. It could be a future woman in that.
Well, I've said over and over, we probably have had we probably aborted a fetus that was going to be a doctor that found a cure from cancer or something else. And somebody let that child be aborted. And that's why we're in the shape we're in. Somebody that might have been the great leader that brought this country back together. And they were destroyed or murdered. I don't care how you say it. It's bad, and I am thankful. I have a regenerated hope in my country.
I do too. From that point on, because I've been little. I don't know. We may be too far.
Oh, I know. I thought the same thing. I'd look back and seen what God did to Israel in some of their struggles in the Old Testament, the things that they had done, and I kept thinking, boy, we are headed for that same thing. Every time I'd see an earthquake, a fire, or a flood, or a tornado, or a hurricane, I'd think, well, the Lord is trying to get our attention, and we're just not getting it. I did have that, and I don't think that's any kind of great theological insight. I think that's just common sense. It is.
Because we were not going in the right direction, and we still got some improvements we've got to do. But I've got 2 heroes I'm going to tell you about.
Okay.
I have there's a woman that's probably pregnant right now, and for some reason we don't know anybody's life. We don't know what they're having to go through. There's a million things that have been going on in this woman's life, and she's just found out she's pregnant. She may not be married, but you know what? She's still my hero, and let me tell you why. Because she thinks enough of that child to give somebody else a chance for adoption. And there are some awesome people out there who want to have kids, and they just can't.
Yeah.
So that's number one, is that woman who decided, you know what? I can't afford it. I can't. It's wrong timing for me, but I'm going to go ahead and have it anyway. You're a hero. And then another hero is the person who adopts that
Amen.
baby.
Amen.
Because my daughter-in-law's adopted,
Yeah. I love it. We got some.
Proud
I've been around a bunch of. We have a lot of people in Cowboy Church that are either foster parents or have adopted. Yes, and they've adopted kids and everything else, and it makes me so proud to have people like that in the congregation.
They're the super people.
They see the value in human life.
Absolutely, they do. There was a couple who lived, when I was a kid, I grew up at Cheahaw Acres #2 in Oxford. It's a subdivision. And so just down 2 houses from us was a man and woman, and their name was Mr. and Mrs. Parnell. We couldn't call them by the first name. It had to be Mr. and Miss Parnell. And they were a little older, had never had kids, and wanted to have kids, and they just took us in, and they had a dog and a cat. And they treated that dog and cat like kids. Yeah. So they would come over, they'd call my parents and say, can we take Donna and Chuck to the dairy dip? They're going to take their dog and cat to get ice cream. And they'd take us.
The dairy dip. I remember those.
That was so awesome. But I just turned 63. I'm proud. I shouldn't be here, really. But Nana's going to live to be 63. I would have taken much better care of myself. So I didn't think I'd make it this long. But Philip, thank you for being on the
it's my
show
pleasure.
today. It's
My
always such a
pleasure.
pleasure to be with you. And I know sometimes you've been so busy here lately, and I'm glad we worked this time out.
Yes, it's perfect.
And speaking of some more awesome folks, Diamond and Silk will be with us next
Oh, good,
Friday.
good.
So, and they have been swamp busy. I'm gonna tell you what. So they sent a message, and their person who sets up the appointments and said, "We want to be on your show. However, you're gonna have to do it at night."
Oh,
And
that's
I
awesome.
said, "That's fine. I'll do it at night, and then we'll just have it ready for the next day."
Well,
on
that's good.
Friday.
That's good.
Absolutely. But this is number one dude right here. And so thank you again so much for watching. It's going to be another awesome day tomorrow. Chuck and Mary Lynn Bailey from Alabama Fair Tax are going to be with us. And I'm looking forward to that. Oh, yeah. And here's a guy. This will be the first time he has ever been on my show. His name is Jail Music Man. I don't know if that's really his name.
I don't know either. Right?
He and I have been friends for a long time. I knew him through some folks that I knew in the music world. And he used to be a liberal. And so he's written a song for today's time.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I'd like to
he's
hear
going
that.
he's going to be on the show tomorrow. So I can't wait to see you. It's going to be an awesome time. So anyway, tomorrow's going to be another great day. And also Rob Patz, who is the owner of Abundant TV, will be with me on. A lot of folks like us on the show together because it's like me and you. I mean, you never know what it's going to be about.
We don't have a script.
Well, I don't ever have a script with anybody.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's going to be on the show with us at 1:00. And then at 2:00, Don Hunt is going to be with us. And he's with Lookout Mountain Cowboy Churches, which is where we're going to church at. It's the closest one to us. I'm going to tell you, it's hard to decide which one you want to go to because they're all good.
They are.
They really are. But thank you, Philip, for being on the show.
Oh, my
with us.
pleasure. My pleasure.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and call it a day. Let's go ahead and put some commercials in there. And don't forget to check out the Cattle Stampede Steakhouse. He's got those lunch specials. Begin at 11 o'clock now, and it ends at 2. 5 entrees, less than $5. And also make sure you do check out my friend Bobby Ledbetter at Twin City Used Car Sales. He's one of a kind guy.
He's
too.
my kind of guy.
Oh, absolutely. Selling cars that nobody else is.
That's right.
And that tells you about his character. Okay.
Yes.
He's there to help the communities. We'll see you guys a little bit later. So y'all take care.
I said, God, you gotta move this mountain. I just don't see it any other way. I'm too weak to make the climb. I need a miracle this time. That's when I heard the voice from heaven say, don't tell me about that mountain. Tell that mountain about me. Face your fear, shout my name, proclaim the victory. You've said your prayers, now take a stand. Get up off your proclaim the